right, we're alive.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our May 19th Reparations Commission meeting, special called meeting. I would like to welcome everybody. I hope everybody had a great weekend. As we get started, I hope everyone had a chance to review the agenda. And as we do roll call, hopefully y'all have a chance to review what's minutes sent out from the last meeting. Salah. Hello.
I'm sorry.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I muted myself as I was speaking. I apologize. I did not. I know we are doing action minutes, but I still should have done some minutes for you all just to have. Sure that the action was taken.
Okay.
I will get that updated and I'll make sure that I get that out to you.
Thank you. Well, Babette, you can move on with roll call.
Dwayne Barton, just answer present or here. Norma Baines.
I think she had eye surgery this past weekend or something.
Okay.
I'll have to check.
Renetta Conyers.
I was here.
Tiffany Devereaux, I know she's out of town, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Gordon.
Present.
Kimberly Jones.
Present.
Dewana Little. You here, Dewana? Oh, that is you. Oh.
Present.
Dwayne McAfee. Dwayne McAfee. Bobette Mays, I'm here. Glenda McDowell.
Present.
Osandu McPeters.
I'm here.
Dwayne Richardson.
Here.
Raynetta Waters. CC Weston. D. Williams. MZ Yehuda. And Keith Young.
There's a short list tonight.
Yeah, I know.
It says MZ is on though.
Is he on?
It's
Is
got
he
to.
muted? I can't see. I know it's,
He is muted right now.
Yeah.
but he's on.
It
Tell him
said
to unmute.
MZ unmute, man.
And I just admitted D, so I believe
Present.
call D's name
Okay.
again. And there's MZ. Okay.
He
D.
said,
Williams. I called her. Is she on?
D.
I
Yeah.
called her name. D.
Yes.
Williams.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, she's on.
Thank you.
CC Weston. I'll go back again. Dwayne Barton. Raynetta Waters. CC Weston. Dwayne McAfee. MZ. And Keith Young.
MZ said present.
Present.
Yeah, I got him. We actually do now have a quorum, so we're good to go.
Okay. So, Dewana, would you like for me to do the objectives for today?
Well, I can, but you can.
Okay.
That's
No,
fine.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
The objectives for today is an update from the 501c3 committee, an update from the community engagement committee, and an update about the final report, and then we will discuss next steps.
And then Dewana.
All right. So we are at the 501c3 update. And so the 501c3 committee has met twice since our last meeting. In those meetings, we discussed the scope, and we came up with some ideas around the scope, but there was a lot of conversation around which specific direction the commission wanted to go in. As far as, are we talking about physical sponsorship, physical agency, or partnership in order to develop the scope that's needed, which all three will require a different scope. And so then the conversation of the creation of the 501c3 was brought up. We did have a commission member, Mr. Dwayne Richardson, who so generously volunteered to pay to get a 501c3, like the paperwork and stuff done for the creation of a 501c3, since we cannot use reparations funds to do that as a separate thing outside of this process, this commission, this CRC process. And so for my update, I really think we need to determine the direction the CRC, the full CRC wants to go in. So I am I'm proposing a vote to start a nonprofit or not to start a nonprofit. And then after the vote, we can discuss what that looks like. But we really need to determine as a commission officially which direction we are going, because that does impact the work that the 501c3 committee is doing. And we want to do it with intention of the full commission. So I would like to make the motion, or do I make the motion?
Well, we don't have a quorum. I know Dwayne Barton
Oh.
joined, and so do we have a quorum, Ms. Babette? We have a quorum?
Yes, we had a quorum before he joined in, but he's here now, so we do have a quorum.
Okay, I
So
thought we did not
someone
have.
needs, yeah, we do. Somebody needs to make a motion.
I think Mr. Richardson had his hand up. Did you have a question, Mr. Richardson?
My question was satisfied. I did not think that we had a quorum, so I was curious as to whether or not we should proceed with a vote.
Okay.
Yes, we have.
Is there anyone who would like to make a motion on voting for a 501c3?
I'll make a motion for voting for 501c3.
Anybody like
So
to
we
say-
are
Someone's
we
gonna
are
say-
voting. Can we clarify the motion? We are voting either to start a 501c3 or not to start a 501c3. So that's the motion. But I just wanted to clarify that for those who just joined.
But
I'll make
I have a question. Can we do both? Can we say whether or not, can we put the motion in place whether we want to or not? Or can we just say that, can we all in favor for a 501c3? And so then whoever would not say it would already know. Is that what you said? We in agreement? That's what I'm thinking. So her motion would have to be that we have a 501c3, and then we would go from that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to clarify the motion? So who would like to make the motion? Let's go back and re-clarify that motion for the vote.
Confusions. I'll make a motion for a 501c3.
Okay.
For the vote.
Okay.
Vote
We-
for 501c3, or you saying vote non-vote,
Yeah.
or not have one, or
Yeah.
have a 501c3?
We are we need to determine if we are going to have one or if we are not going to start one. Are we going to start a 501c3 or not? That is the question.
So I'll make a motion that we have a 501c3.
Okay, who wants to second that?
I'll second
that.
it.
So Dwayne Richardson second that.
Mhm.
Okay,
So do you want to have a roll call vote?
yes.
Dewana, you have to call it. All in favor?
So you
So
gotta call
we're
roll
doing a
call,
roll,
you have to-
we're
you have to
doing a
go
roll
down
call.
the list, Babette.
Yeah, okay. Dwayne Barton? Yea or nay? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Renetta Conyers,
Yes.
Christopher Gordon,
Yes.
Kimberly Jones,
Yes.
Dewana Little,
No.
Bobette Mays, yes. Glenda McDowell,
Yes.
Asandu McPeters,
Yes.
Dwayne Richardson,
Yes.
D. Williams,
Yes.
and MZ Yehuda. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes, has it, and we will be starting a 501c3. So, following this meeting, y'all will get the information on fiscal sponsorship, fiscal agent, and partnership as a way to begin this work. And there will be some other details, I think, and Dwayne Richardson is on here. I think he is creating a proposal that he wants to submit to the commission. And so y'all will get that information following this meeting, and we will start working on that in the 501c3, because there is there is the creation of the entity that needs to be done in order for us to even go into contract with whether we are considering either one of the three options. So y'all will get that information following this meeting. All right.
And congratulations all. You
Thank
voted
y'all.
on a 501c3. Great. All righty. Next on our agenda.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was about to do the next on the agenda.
Okay.
To Bobby.
I'm gonna step back. Go ahead, Dewana. Do your thing.
Next on our agenda is community engagement update. And so I'll turn it over to you, Bobette.
Okay, we have looked at the overlay with different focus groups, and the educational part with collaboration was very much focused for us with nonprofits for pre-Ks and communities, and gives financial support for those organizations to thrive and be central to promote the same educational resources needed to be prepared for public schools. The suggestion was for free programs, and we can make sure that they are in a neighborhood mostly impacted with the educational opportunities. We also want to collaborate with YMI Cultural Center to make sure that youth in our legacy neighborhoods are receiving the knowledge of their heritage and enrich their minds into arts, music, and etc. They know how they can also thrive with that knowledge. Economic development. We thought about the Masonic Lodge in Shiloh was set on fire and declared an arson, but the lodge has not been able to repair or replace, and there's been a vision visible in the community since the 60s and could serve as a meeting place for second chance and possible youth engagements. And the Shiloh Community Association has a 501c3 and could be used as a model for more control of the Linwood Crump Recreational Shiloh Center, which was named after a man that was instrumental in the development of youth in the community. He exposed them to playing golf, baseball, football, and basketball. And the community feels left out because it is now being used for pickleball, basketball tournaments, and softball tournaments that don't include the people in the communities. And if there was a partnership with the Asheville Police Department, it could also serve as a resource center for them and secure the safety in the community. Our next meetings will be May the 22nd and June the 12th at 6 p.m. Dwayne Richardson and I think Dwayne Barton have something that they want to add on to what we've already discussed.
I will defer completely to Dwayne Barton. I'm in support of what he put forward today. I think that it is a solid model. So that's really my entire input, is to say that I support his approach, and I'm anxious to hear what the rest of the community at large, the commission at large will think.
Dwayne Barton.
You may have to go on and read, Dwayne, what he had sent to you. I think
Uh,
everybody on I think we all sent something. I sent something to everybody. You got it.
Yeah, well, let me pull it up on my computer. I apologize.
Okay.
I was not anticipating. 1 second, please. In a night where we have short time, I need to hustle along, so give me a moment.
We're a little ahead of schedule, Mr. Richardson, so.
Oh,
you're good.
excellent. So I'm prepared now. And I hope I can give this the justice that he would do. I would prefer that if he is on the call, that he go ahead and still step forward if he can. To that end, I will read the entire email, hoping that I can do any editing on the fly that we need. So, dear Outreach Committee, I am sharing a framework to help us align on how to best distribute reparation funds before educating the community and gathering meaningful input that will further guide our funding decisions. Because resources are limited and the political climate is challenging, this initial distribution should be regenerative, seeding benefits that cycle back into historically under-resourced communities for years to come. The guiding principles, we'll begin with the headlines now. Guiding principles: advance existing policy commitments, make meaningful connections to initiatives such as boosting the block, neighborhood plans, the disparity study, and the Stop the Harm audit. Second, leverage complementary recovery resources, pair our investments with I-26 corridor expansion commitments and forthcoming HUD CDBG/DR funds to amplify impact. Third, focus on land, capital, and market access as levers for long-term community-owned wealth. Fourth, design for regenerative returns. Ensure every dollar recycles gains back into historically under-resourced communities, compounding over time. The next area of focus, proposed process. 5 working groups: education, economic development, health, housing, criminal justice. Number 2, each group identifies 3 priority recommendations that divide the reparation funds equitably across the 5 focus areas, align with existing policies serving historically under-resourced communities, deliver cross-sector benefits, and unlock or complement external funding. Item 3, convene community listening sessions to gather public input and refine selections. Item 4, map each recommendation to external funds, then present an integrated plan for full commission approval. And I will say that he closed with thank you for collaborating to direct these funds toward lasting community-led impact. Conclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. MZ requested that be sent to him, so it doesn't appear that he received it. If it went out to everyone, he did not receive it.
I will forward it to him forthwith.
And Dwayne Barton is on. If there's anything he wanted to add, he just got stepped back in.
Can I get a copy of that too, if possible?
And can I get a copy too?
Oh, everyone wants a copy. Okay,
Mhm.
we'll get
But
you.
if it's something for us to consider, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get you.
Thank you.
I would like a copy as well. This is Cece.
Okay,
So can we just make sure that we send that out to the full commission?
okay, everybody will get it.
Yes.
I would like a copy of it, but I would also like concomitant budgets with those. And that would be pro forma budgets, even though it just needs to be more practicable than a bunch of words. I need to see some numbers behind those things.
Thank you, Dee. Dr. No, you had your hand up? And you're muted.
Yes, my computer rebooted, so it made me have to give permission to everything. I just was wanting to get some clarity. So this is a community engagement plan. You were mentioning using funds. I'm curious as to what funds are you to use to do this plan?
Our objective is to use the money from what we already, that has been allocated from the city and the county.
Okay, so, and I think DK is on, so she might can clarify this better than for me, but from my understanding, the money that, at least from the county side, I'll just speak from the county, the money from the county side is to go towards implementing recommendations, but that would be implemented through the county using those funds, not necessarily giving this commission those funds to then use in different ways. It would be used by the county.
Specifically, yes. That's the intent. From
Okay.
From what you heard, it would not be for us, the commission, to pour that out, but the recommendations come to you and for the county and the city to distribute however, how that works. So our first things were that when we start, and I apologize because the second meeting we were supposed to have, I was sick. And so we didn't get to have our second meeting. So what we did, what we have put together is the weekend, and everybody's been traveling and doing stuff. But what we have is, in our next meeting will be what, like Dee said, she wants to hear a dollar amount. She wants to know what's that gonna look like. And so that's what, if you go back to what we talked about in the beginning about the education for the pre-K, we thought about nonprofit organizations that are trying to keep the cost down, but still have the same quality as other pre-K programs and stuff. So our kids can be just as prepared when they go into kindergarten and the first grade. So we want to implement that, and what would that look like? And it was said that we wanted to keep a lot of this in our communities. So we can do that, but we'll probably have to do some things to research, like where would you put it? And that was the thing that we thought about. Shiloh is a great model because we already have Project Lighten Up in Shiloh, which want to move into, they're already doing summer camp for pre-K. So those were some of the things that we were thinking about as far as that was concerned. It even came up, I know, about economic development, talked about the property on South Charlotte Street, that if it could be developed as like what Dwayne Barton has always talked about as a center, a resource that we could bring in all of those other pieces, like the health and wellness and the medical portions of it. But that's what it would be. It would not be for us to decide. That's why we would use the money that was already designated. The 501c3 would be private funding that we get through that we could do other than that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It does. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you, brother. So I know that Dee's
MZ, D.
D, Dwayne Richardson, and then MZ.
Okay, D.
You're muted, D.
Thank you for recognizing me. I appreciate that. Last meeting, we talked about the city of Asheville saying that it was not wedded to any nonprofit, not this one or any of the others. So I just want specification and stipulation. You talk even beyond what the city has talked about, as far as, is this money that's in reparations budget going to be bidded out by the city and county governments to whatever nonprofits that come forward and bid for it? Because they clearly stated per the last meeting that they're not willing to fund this nonprofit's formation, and they will not commit to putting these funds into the nonprofit that we set up or that you set up or whoever sets up. So I'm just not clear on what all this means right now. Have we stepped over a step, or what Or am I missing something? When the city government, because they are government, has said that they will not commit because of the fact that you're dealing with public funds and then they exceed an amount that is way over what is required by state law to be let out by specification and bidding. I just need clarification from an official, probably city and county attorney, on what their intentions are. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. I'll jump in really quick. I had a conversation with Bobette and Dewana on Friday. My understanding is that they're not looking for the city or the county to give money to the 501c3. What they are looking is to see how the work that they're doing with the community engagement falls in line with the recommendations that you all have already created and vetted, and also looking how that falls in line with the recovery work that we're doing.
So I hear people talking about funds that are going into communities and so forth, and pardon me for not raising my hand, but I guess my thing is, this is just for the final report and not what is going to be formulated as far as the next steps of work for funding for this committee. In other words, this 501c3 needs to go out and be prepared to bid against other nonprofits for the reparations funding. I'm trying to see how this goes, because I don't know. I know we have municipal governments that are governed by state contracting and procurement law. So I'm just wondering how this is going to set up. Has a city attorney or county attorney said anything about this process as far as disbursement of these funds, that $5 to $6 million is in that pot?
I believe Brad has spoken on it in previous meetings. I know that he is here. If you'd like to hear from Brad, can you provide clarity?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, good evening, everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to be here as always. It is important to note that until the city council, and I will only speak for the city council, gets the opportunity to review and determine which requests it can bring forward and in what manner it can bring those things forward. It may be premature for us to say what limitations may or may not exist. So I'm being somewhat speculative now, but I will say that it is absolutely true that if the city is going to contract with any of the funds that it has, it will be required to comply with the state procurement laws, which means that we generally do not have the ability to pick who we contract with simply based upon our desire to use one party over another. We do have to usually issue what's called an RFP, which is a request for production, or an RFQ, which is a request for qualifications. And then there is some sort of scoring matrix that goes along with that. So if the city is required to go down a contracting path, then procurement law will play a part in that.
Thank you, Brad.
I think Dwayne, you had your hand up. Dwayne Richardson.
Actually, Salah spoke directly to what it was that I was hoping to add, and I could add no more than she did.
Thank you.
All right, MZ.
Yeah, my question is more around logistics, and then just fine tuning the details around how to take these funds and apply them to, I guess, these areas that each of the IFAs will select as the foremost areas that they want to apply the funds towards. And I just need clarity. This has nothing to do with the 501c3, right? This is separate. This is just funds that are recommended to be applied towards the recommendations that we've already approved, right? Just want to make sure. And then I have a second question after that.
Do you want me to answer? You got that, Tawana?
No, I was gonna let Bobby answer because I haven't even I'm just now hearing of the proposal, so I don't have a response. But Bobby, if you can answer this question, that would be awesome. Oh, she left. Yeah, you can, so
Yeah, so MZ, I believe that they're still in the process. There's been conversation, and if anyone else has been a part of these conversations, I have not been a part of the community engagement meetings. Correct me if I'm wrong, that there are conversations taking place on how they would like for those funds to be used when it comes to the recommendations that were made initially. And so it is not for the 501c3. You are correct. It is not being used for the 501c3, but it is them looking at the work, that they want to do and seeing again how it aligns with the recommendations that you all have already made and the cease the harm recommendations, as well as how we can fold that into recovery as well. And I think Babette jumped back on, but if there's anyone else who has attended those meetings, you can correct me if I am wrong or if I misspoke. Okay. MZ, what was your second question?
Yeah, more logistically around the work of the community engagement committee. Is the community engagement committee the ones that are selecting them, or is the community engagement community going to the community for the community to select these?
Right. So I don't have the answer to that question. I'm hoping that someone who is a part of that group can answer that for you. I do think that they're still in the conversation stages, and so maybe they haven't fleshed that out, but I could be wrong. So if there's anyone who can speak to that question for MZ, I would greatly appreciate it. If not, MZ, we'll get your question answered after the meeting.
Okay.
Bobby, could you?
After that.
I see Dwayne on here. I know she back, and Dwayne on here too. Bobby or Dwayne, can y'all speak to MZ? Oh, she can't talk. Okay. Dwayne Barton, can you speak to MZ question or no?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
The thing is to for the outreach to create an example of what we're saying, pick the three. In my mind, it's like, how is the outreach commission crafting a message to do the outreach for the recommendations that include those items, and then create an example of what it would look like. So when they go share it with the community, they could be educating them about the stop the harm. They can be educating about this, the recommendations in a proposed way based on the amount of money that we would like to distribute. Get their feedback. Us for the outreach committee to create an example of what was written up. Go out in the community, get their feedback, and then we as a large commission vote on that. The goal of this thing was to create a direction on how we can distribute the money as soon as we can. And my question was, when do we go before the city to get it actually approved for distribution? So that paper was designed to get us moving in a direction as the outreach team to get everything laid out, show the community about what we think and how we think this can play out for the long haul, get some feedback, and then to take it to the city council for approval, for distribution of the monies.
So Dwayne, and I think I'm a little bit confused, because when you say distribution of funds, again, there's no money that's going into the hands of the community. The recommendations and the funds that are in I'm going to speak for the city's pot, and I know that Dr. No has already spoken for the county, is for implementation of recommendations.
Yeah.
So when you say distribution, can you just clarify that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. implement
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Okay, great. So we have to be able to get these recommendations. So again, I know that the county, and I'll speak for the city, we are doing this crosswalk. I actually met with our city manager early last week, mid last week, to talk about our crosswalk and what recommendations and what we're doing internally already, the work that we're doing internally. So it's great that you all are looking at like what recommendations you think should be moved forward, because we need that information. The sooner you can get together, figure out your plan, figure out what recommendations you would like to see move forward, we can put that into our crosswalk to see where it falls into the work that we're currently doing. And once that's completed, we can get that to our city council. But I have to say that you all have to be done with your work. So you have to be done with this process in order for us to be able to move forward.
And crosswalk again. I'm trying to understand.
So we're taking the cease the harm, we're taking your recommendations, and then we take the work that we're doing internally, right, in our organizations, and see where they overlap. Right. So it's the work that we're already doing that overlaps with some of the recommendations that you all have created and voted on in the past.
Right. So that's great. So this paper was designed to get everybody in the outreach committee to agree on it. Okay, let's do this, and then do it. Go out, get the feedback, and then kick it back to y'all for implementation.
Right. So have you all been doing that, or you're working on the plan for that?
Well, this is the time we send it out to everybody. I just sent it to the outreach committee so we can have that conversation and we can move on it.
Okay. Alrighty, so I would suggest, like your next steps is that you guys, as soon as you can, get that taken care of and get that finalized, so that you can come back and share with the commission, and you can send it, you can provide it to us so that we can start putting that into our respective crosswalks for both the city and the county.
All right, thank you.
Because I have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't have to sound so happy about that, Dewana.
No, go ahead. No.
And I am the timekeeper, so I want to be cognizant that we got about 22 minutes left, because this is an hour meeting. It's not a 2-hour meeting. So just want to let you all know, keeping you on track when it comes to the time.
Okay, so real fast. And my third question was along the lines of what Dwayne was asking around the process of bringing it forth to the city and the county. And I think you answered part of that, but you did say something, Salah, that you said the process needs to be finished. So when you say that, does that mean that the whole 501c3 thing has to be done?
No.
No? Okay.
No, so the 501c3 has nothing to do with us. That's something that you all are doing. What I'm saying is that the work, so you all asked for the extension and said there was work that you needed to do to ensure that this was completed, right? Okay. So the 501c3, we know that doesn't happen overnight, and that's something that you all are going to be responsible for, that you're going to do. That's the work that you're doing, right? But when it comes to the plan that Dwayne has presented and says that they're working on for community engagement, if that's something that you feel needs to be completed in order for you to say that this is done, then we need to get that done.
Okay, that's my question. I have other stuff. I'll type it in the chat so that
yes, type it in, or send it to me in the email. Because what happens is when you type it in the chat, and then when this meeting is over, it's gone.
Okay, this is for the entire commission.
Okay, perfect. So we have Dwayne Richardson, and then we're going to move on. Dwayne, I'm going to let you. And then we're going to move. Dewana, you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'll add it in later.
Okay. Dwayne Richardson.
Dwayne Richardson, you on mute if you was trying to say something.
Thank you, Dewana. I was going to say, I will just take a pause on what I was going to say and keep us moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. You can also send it in the email if it's something that you need for me to respond to.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So, so we are now on to, and for all commission members, if y'all have any questions, concerns, or anything that y'all would like the city or county to respond to, please send it via email. And if it's something for the whole commission, please feel free to put it in the chat. And now we're on to our final report update.
Yes, thank you, Luana. Thank you so much. So what I would like to share with you all is that we did choose someone to edit our final report, and that is the Carter Group. So they're the ones who did the Cease the Harm. So they will be the editors and graphic designers for this report. We are, Dr. Noah and I and other city staff and county staff have been working on this report. We are 270 pages in at today. So it's a pretty robust report, but they're going to take it, they're going to edit it. We're hoping to have it to them by tomorrow. But as soon as, no later than the end of the week. We will have that into them. We want to make sure that we have all the information. We're actually probably giving them more information than they need, but we want to make sure they have everything that they need. So just want to give you an update on that. Again, our hard deadline to have this completed. So MZ, I'm a bit concerned about, there's concern about the feedback. Okay, so is this is regarding the report, MZ, or is it for the community engagement? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
This is for the community engagement.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. So what we're gonna do is get that over to them, have them send us back the draft when they've completed the editing and the graphic design. We will send it over to you all to be able to review, and you're probably gonna have maybe about a week to review it. If we don't hear back from you, then we're gonna think that it's a go, and then we're gonna have them finalize it. And that's probably gonna be sometime in June, probably the second week of June. Okay. Dr. Noah, is there anything that you wanted to add with regards to the update for the final report?
No, just to kind of reiterate, while working on this, it's just very apparent how much hard work you all have put in. So kudos to you all and the work that you've done. And I think it's going to be a really great report once it's all said and done and they make it look all fancy.
All right, that's the end of our update. Unless you all have any questions.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
All right. So we're on to next steps.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. D, go ahead.
Excuse me. I just wanted to say thank you all for all of your hard work. And it is time to come to a conclusion. And I am so thrilled that the Carter Group has this task. It is time to get focused. We in the community are ready to go, but we don't have unrealistic expectations. We do not expect a distribution of cash, nor do we expect the city and county governments to turn over their coffers to us, because legitimately they cannot. So a sense of realism is really what this is all about. So happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, G. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see if we have, does anyone else have any comments or, okay. And let's see, do we have any public comment?
No.
No public comment.
And MZ has his hand raised. Go ahead, MZ.
If we have time on the agenda, I wanted to raise my question before the committee.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we have time. So as I said in the chat, it's a bit concerning to me about taking extra time to go back to those community members that are not members of the commission to weigh in again, because I feel like we did this already. So I'm suggesting that we just go back to the data that we already retrieved and use the time of the committee for that. That way, we're not expending any additional time to try to identify those recommendations that are kind of like the pressing ones. So that's just my suggestion. Time, I just believe more now than ever that time is of the essence. And while we're doing the 501c3 stuff, I think we could also be putting time to looking at these recommendations and then getting them on the desk of the city and county. So I just offer that as we direct the work, some of the more pressing stuff, that we don't delay on that and we don't kind of recreate the wheel. That's my recommendation. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, MZ. And so, Babette, are you all meeting twice a month or just once a month? Twice, okay. So part of your next steps is, MZ, are you a part of that group as well, the community engagement?
I am, but I'm not getting the messages. Like I'm getting the messages on like the night of, the day of, and I've been requesting.
Okay.
So I don't know. The communication has kind of been off for all of this. But yeah, I find out the last minute, so it's hard for me to kind of make those adjustments like when I get the message that day of. So
okay. So Babette, if you like, I can work with you to put together a schedule that can just go out to that group and get the meetings set up so that there's a regular cadence. Okay. All righty. Perfect. Go ahead.
So I had a comment. And I want to, first of all, for those who are interested in the 501c3, we meet on Wednesdays. We will not be meeting next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And I do send out an email, and I will make sure I'm using your correct email, MZ, because it's another email that pops up. I think the Warren Wilson one, probably. But anyway, I will make sure I'm updating that email request. So I do want to, one thing that did come up in community engagement that I do want to know, and our committee also wants to know, is that around commitment. So the 501c3 passed the paperwork is work, and it does take time and commitment to really establish a 501c3. So that means we have voted to establish one, and I don't want to assume that because we voted to establish one that everyone has the time or is committed to that creation. But if you are, it would be good to know that you are committed to the time it's going to take to really get a 501c3 established. That's from recruiting a board to building a structure, like the real work of creating a 501c3. The paperwork is the easy part. But Tiffany and I last meeting brought up, do we have enough people that will commit to the time that's required to create the 501c3 and get it fully established? So I would like to pose that question to the commission, and also name recommendations. One thing that came up was the name. If we was to create an entity to be able to go into contract with a physical agent or physical sponsor or partner, to be able to sign an agreement as an entity. Name came up, so the CRC name cannot be used, I asked, unless this commission is done. Once this commission is done, then the CRC name is available. But while this commission is standing and active, it cannot be utilized. And so name recommendations, y'all welcome to send me name recommendations that we can definitely talk about in our group. And if y'all are sending me name recommendations, hopefully I can get them by Wednesday next week, which would be great for this commission, so that we can have some conversation, because we'll need a name to create the actual entity. We cannot file the paperwork without a name. And I see Dee's hand raised.
Yes, thank you, DeWanna. I just want to interject that you can call it the ABC Commission if you want to. You probably couldn't because there's an entity named that, but it can always be changed with a $60 fee back to the Community Reparations Commission of Asheville-Buncombe County, to the Secretary of State. So don't worry about that. If it's beyond the October deadline, you can always change it back, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Dee.
So name recommendations would be good. Unless everyone is just want to use this name. But we're trying to move the paperwork forward. So name recommendations would be good. And I really would like Dwayne Richardson to speak to the research that he has been doing and the people he has been talking to in reference to the creation of the 501c3, since we have a couple of minutes.
Sure. So our nonprofit engaged with a group that did our paperwork, and to a degree, as Dewana has said, the paperwork is the easy part. And so what I wanted the group to know was that we had the opportunity to put together the legal necessities, that we wouldn't be worried about necessarily at this time how we were going to pay for it and those things. And then the creation of it and the bylaws and the things that make it what it will be, that will come from the group. Let me be abundantly clear. I as much as I wish I had time to somehow be a part of the leadership, I do not. And so what I'm trying to do is give to the group an opportunity to create the 501c3 in a timely fashion, given the limitations of time that we have. And so I think that I know for a fact that the entity that did our nonprofit accomplished said goal in 60 days. And so I feel strongly they can do the same thing again. There's nothing new or more difficult about the creation of ours. So as that entity is being set for creation, there will have to be input from the membership, from the leadership, as to what we will do, how we will do it. Again, my goal was to just give us the resources economically to reach our goal. I hope that addressed what Dewana was seeking.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Anyone else? All righty, well, we don't have any public comment. I will say that our next steps are, Babette, I'll be working with you. We do need to get if we can just get a calendar out and calendar invites out. Dewana, I think we should do the same for the 501c3, just so they can have it on the calendar, get those set up.
Okay.
And out. If you all need help with that, please let me know. If there's nothing else, Dewana.
Dwayne's name is raised. Hands is raised.
Sorry. So as we start to do this with the 501c3, I know that we will have to begin to look at our leadership, and it will be my intention at some point that I think that given Mr. McPeter's background in the financial sector and banking and whatnot, I think that I will be hoping that he will allow me to nominate him to be the initial leader of that group. And then from there, we will put together the rest of the group. Of course, this is something that would have to be voted on and approved and all of that stuff. And we're a long ways away from that. But I wanted to go ahead and put him on the spot this evening and let the group know that that's kind of the direction that I am that I'm thinking at the start. Now, how that plays out, no one knows. But as I was saying that I wanted to be a part of the genesis of it, I thought I would share that with the group, and that may put him on the spot, but that's what I'm going to be thinking. And if it goes differently, I'm just sharing with you how I'm seeing the beginning. Because to quote an old gentleman that I knew many years ago, anything with more than one head is a freak, and so we'll need to start to come together as a group to put one person forward. And now that one person may then employ the entire group or portions thereof, but we will have to begin the conversation of leadership. Thank you very much for the time you've given me this evening.
Thank you. And just so y'all know, with 501c3s, outside the executive leadership and board leadership are two different things. And so we need to be thinking about the board, because that will need to be established first, because that is the voting body. And so if y'all are committed, if y'all have time and space to commit your skills and expertise to the real development of this 501c3. Please email me before by Wednesday of next week and just let me know I'm committed. And you will get an email from me anyway asking again, just so that y'all have a reminder to email if y'all are committed to the time and have the time and space and capacity to do that work, so that can be building as well. But if do we have any more comments, questions,
Dr. No.
concerns?
Did you have something, Dr. No? Okay. Okay.
So
I
no
had
more
a question about the
hands.
next CRC meeting. Has a date been set for that?
For the what?
The next CRC meeting.
No, there are special call meetings, MZ, so you'll find out probably about a week before.
Okay.
But in the I'll make sure, I apologize if you didn't get the stuff. I've just not got an email address for you. It was different. That is it, MZ Yehuda at Hood Huggers Foundation.org.
I'll email you.
He'll email you.
Yeah, because I think that's what I'm think I'm having the problem with. We will make sure that everybody gets that out, and in that email that I sent, then you have the 2 dates that we're going to meet the next time.
Bobette, it should be in the email. MZ, you got the email from me regarding this meeting, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so it should be in the email that I sent out regarding this meeting, Bobette.
Okay.
Yeah,
I told you I've been sick.
what we don't want to do is call out people's private email addresses on a tape meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So.
Well, that was wrong. I had the wrong one. MZ, don't worry, I had the wrong one. So anybody listening, that was not him. That was somebody else that I didn't even know. I apologize. I was sending the wrong. No, but I do, and I make my apologies for if, I didn't get out, but I've been traveling and I've been sick, and so but that's no excuse.
We'll work together.
I'm doing my best.
We'll work together to get that sent out so that it's already sent out and it's on everyone's calendar.
Okay. So we good.
All righty.
So our actions and next steps are y'all will get the physical agent, physical sponsor, physical partnership info graphics so that y'all know what the differences are, and we can hopefully at our next meeting, our next CRC meeting, discuss that. But also the 501c3 committee will be sending out requests for calendar invites and requests for names for the entity as we continue to do our work. And then the community engagement committee will be sending out the document that was just reviewed in this meeting, as well as calendar invites for their meetings. Please keep in mind, just a reminder, I'm sure y'all know we cannot have a quorum at these committee meetings. So please respond back to the invites if you come in or not. Please RSVP. I hate to say that, but that way we can all see and keep account of who's showing up and on what time. For what meeting. So are there any next steps that I have missed? Oh, Bobette, I see your hand.
What I'm confused about, that you said you sent an invites out to the people for the 501c3, but I thought,
yes.
Don't you, not invites, but don't you already have people? Because I think we can't have any more than 9 people. So you wouldn't want everybody on the commission, am I missing something, to be part of?
But that's why I said that we will send it out so everybody knows when the meetings are, but people need to RSVP because we cannot have a quorum, and most people can see on the invite how many people are joining and who already have RSVP, and so that we can keep the numbers down under a quorum.
Group for each subgroup, or is it just free to
everybody? Yeah,
no,
everybody on our commission is not on a group.
But we had already
that's
picked
why I said
our
that.
9. We have our 9 for community engagement. We already have our 9 that we
Okay.
couldn't have anymore. And I submitted
So
that.
the quorum number is 9.
Mm-hmm.
It has
We
to
have
be
16
9.
We have 16 members. Is it 16 of you all?
Yeah.
It's 17.
Yeah. 17.
It's
Okay.
17.
So it needs to be less than 9.
How many people do you have, Bobette? You said 9?
I have 8. I don't think Dewana, you just come
Right.
in.
And I thought it had to be 8.
Yeah, so we have our 8. And so we
Yes.
didn't need any more.
Oh, you was counting
Randy
me when I be
on.
popping
Randy's
in.
gonna correct me if I'm wrong.
right.
If you have 17,
Yeah, that's
it has to
right.
be 8, right,
Yeah, but
Brad?
we have our 8.
Yeah, it sounds like
Brad?
8 is the max. You can have
Yeah.
less than 8, but you cannot have more than 8.
So we have
Okay.
that. So that's why I was saying, I sent you a list, I think, of
I
the
got a
people
list
that-
and I
okay.
sent
okay.
to that we talked about in the meeting Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a list, but those who are not already on a committee and want to, because right now we have four people on our committee that's been showing up.
Okay.
And so if you're not on a committee, please join. Well, community engagement is full, so please join the 501c3 committee if you're not on a committee. And was there any more action steps for community engagement, Bobette, or did I sum that up right?
Say that again.
Were there any more action steps for community engagement, or did I sum that up right?
You summed it up right. We working on a few other things, but those were since we didn't have the second meeting, we didn't get to finish doing the rest of it, but we'll have it. We've got it. It's all the things that we have done that we're thinking about are short term that we can start
Okay.
really working on and getting done to submit.
All right. Well, thank you. And since we do not have public comment, am I correct on that, Salah?
You are correct.
All right. Well, I would like to make a motion that our meeting is adjourned at 7:02 p.m.
I second that motion.
All right then.
All right, y'all.